Good morning guys, once again welcome in the next video lecture, which is just the continuation of the earlier lecture, that is the analysis of the fixed beam. Now today we are going to consider case number 4, which is nothing but it is a fixed beam with a UDL not over the whole span but at a distance up to A from point A. So in this particular case, if you remember what is the chronological sequence to analyze a beam, let us see those sequences one by one. So we know that we have to understand the combined effect of the fixity as well as the simply supported beam. So here you can see I have tried to show the combined effect of both the simply supported beam as well as the effect due to the fixity at A and B. But to analyze this type of a problem, we have to go with the very basics, what we have already learned from case 1 to case 4. For that purpose, what I am going to do is, I will be considering a small elemental strip of this UDL at a distance of dx. So the magnitude of the UDL at this point will be as good as a point load of a magnitude W dx. So moving ahead, if I find out the placement of this equivalent point load of a UDL, which is at a distance of x from point A, so the remaining distance will be L minus x. Now moving ahead, this particular case is to be treated as good as a basic first standard case which we have already studied into the earlier lectures, in which there was a point load which was acting at a distance of A from point A. So its fixed moment was equal to WAB square by L square, and MB was equal to WA square B by L square. So we are going to have the simplification of this particular example by means of a very basic example or a very basic case. So moving ahead, we can see here in this figure number 1, we have an basic problem figure, that is case 4 of a fixed beam with the imposed load of W per meter at a distance of A. We know that if I consider an elemental strip at a distance of x, is it okay? From that particular x is nothing but it is the point of application of that particular equivalent point load W dx. Now here we'll try to understand what will be the effect of that small elemental point load W dx, which is nothing but dma and dmb, which are nothing but what? These are the fixed moment due to this point load, equivalent point load W dx. Is it okay? So dma and dmb due to this equivalent point load we shall try to work out, and after having the integration throughout the span for which the UDL is been imposed, we are able to get the fixed moment for this particular basic beam with a UDL up to a distance of A. So let us go back to the basic, that is dma is equal to, I am applying this condition of a standard case on this particular beam with the elemental strip. So here dma, if you remember, WAB square by L square is a fixed moment at A. Similarly, small fixed moment at A will be W dx. W dx is a point load, equivalent point load, x into L minus x square divided by L square, that is WAB square by L square. So this is dma. Similarly, for working out the fixed moment on the point B due to the small elemental strip, that is the equivalent point load W dx, will be applying this MB WA square B by L square. So here W dx is the equivalent point load, x square is this x square into L minus x. So by using this basic standard case, we are implementing that basic standard case onto this particular example, in which I have considered a small elemental strip of a UDL which has been converted into a equivalent point load. So here we got a fixed moment at point A due to small elemental strip or a equivalent point load. Same is the case with this dmb. Now here we know that total fixed moment at A can be found out from these two basic equation by integration for the total span on which the UDL has been imposed. For that particular case, what I am going to do is I will be rearranging these terms and rewrite the equation for MA. Is it okay? So here DMA after integration from 0 to A, what I get is MA. On the right hand side also I will be having the integration from 0 to A and rewriting the term W into X into L minus X square by L square into dx. Is it okay? So what I did is, in having the friction moment due to a equivalent point load and integrating it from 0 to A, throughout which that particular UDL has been imposed. So on the left hand side, integral DMA is nothing but it is equal to MA, and as far as the right hand side is concerned, integral 0 to A, after rewriting I have got this particular equation, and after simplifying this you can have the following simplification in front of your screen. So here W by L square is being a constant, I will take it out of that integration, and in the bracket what I am remaining is X into L minus X square dx. Is it okay? So first of all I have to treat these particular two brackets, for which on the this particular part it is a bracket square, so I will simplify that bracket square, L square minus 2LX plus X square, then I will multiply this X into the bracket, so XL square minus 2LX square plus X cube dx. Now I will do the integration. So here X L square X square by 2 minus 2L X cube by 3 plus X raised to 4 by 4, and the limit are from 0 to A. So after putting these values for A and 0, I will be getting this particular equation MA. So here at 0, if I put X is equal to 0 throughout this, so total equation will be 0. But if I put X is equal to A, so I have this MA is equal to WL square in the bracket, L square A square by 2 minus 2L A cube by 3 plus A raised to 4 by 4. So this is what is nothing but it is the value for the friction moment at point A, and after simplifying that, making it very convenient to solve, so here I have come with the conclusion that MA is WA square by 12L square in the bracket 6L square minus 8LA plus 3A square. So this is a friction moment at point A for a case of a UDL imposed for the length of a distance A. So this is MA. Similarly, on the same lines, if I integrate this particular equation number 2, I will be having this MB is equal to WA cube by 12L square in the bracket 4L minus 3A. So by using these two equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2, we will be able to find out the value of a friction moment at point A and at point B, which has occurred due to the fixicity at point A and B. So this is how we have to find out the friction moment for this another standard case number 4. Moving ahead, if we have the distributed load covering at certain distances, first case we will be considering as this UDL is imposed only at a distance of L by 2, that is X is equal to L by 2. So in that particular case, already I have equation number 1 and equation number 2, where I am having a friction moment at MA at A and MB at B. For which case? For the earlier case where the UDL was imposed up to a distance of A. So here in that earlier case X was equal to what? A, but now X is equal to L by 2. So simply substituting a value A is equal to L by 2 in this equation number 1 and 2, you will be getting the friction moment at A and at point B, which are MA is equal to 11 by 192 WL square and MB is equal to 5 by 192 WL square by. So this is your equation number 2. So this is for this particular case. One more case we can come across, that if the UDL is imposed throughout the length. So in that case, what will be the value of X? X equal to the total distance L. So by simply putting that value A is equal to L or X is equal to L in this particular equation 1 and equation number 2, you are getting again the same. MA is equal to WL square by 12 and MB is equal to WL square by 12. This is already we have worked out in the case number 2, in which the friction moment was equal to WL square by 12 at A as well at point B. So from a single, if you know one of the value of this particular standard case, by putting the different value of x, you will be able to get the friction moment at point A and at point B. So this is what is for the case of a fixed beam imposed with a partial UDL at certain distances. So moving ahead, the next case which we are going to talk about is another interesting case in which a couple is been applied, but it's not applied at the center, but it is somewhat eccentric at a distance of A from point A. Is it okay? So this is the fixed beam which is imposed with a couple of M0 at a distance of A from the left hand side A. Is it okay? So this is fixed beam with a couple. Now what I am going to do is I am going to replace this couple by a basic principle. If you remember, when two equal and opposite forces are acting away from each other, they always constitute a couple. So that analogy I have applied here, and I have converted this anticlockwise couple by two equal forces acting at a distance of delta A from each other. So this two forces, W downward and W upward, if you see the effect of this, it is again going to be an anticlockwise couple. Is it okay? And the distance which is called as a arm of a couple is equal to A. So first load is acting at a distance of A, and second is acting at a distance of A plus delta A, whereas the remaining distance is, if the total length is L and this is A plus delta A, so the remaining will be L minus A plus delta A. So this is how we have converted a couple system into a 2-point load system. Going ahead, this is nothing but this is a couple system due to the effect of fixity at point A and at point B. So as we know, this couple is trying to move this particular beam in the upward direction. This is going to form a hogging case of a bending. Is it okay? So you can see here the effect. This is trying to rotate it upward, so this end will move upward, and whereas this is going to have a hogging type of a bending moment. But when the fixity effect is to be taken into account, here we can see it has to be always in the opposite direction, because it is trying to reinstate the bending occurred due to the applied forces. So here the couple is a clockwise couple, so action is anti-clockwise, so the reaction has to be clockwise. So this is what is a M0 couple, which is due to the effect of fixity. So for that, friction moment will be always into the same direction, because this couple is acting in clockwise, so the friction moment also has to act in the clockwise direction at a point A and as well as point B. Is it okay? So this is what we have. Now already we had a discussion related how we have to analyze that particular beam. For analyzing that beam, we have to understand the basic concept which are to be applied one by one. So first, these two figures are related to the actions, and this is due to the reaction due to the fixity effect at point A and B. Now we know that, again, for understanding this concept, I will be focusing on figure number 2, which says, or which is to be applied by considering this particular case, which is one of the standard case in which a point load is acting at a distance of A from end A. Is it okay? In that particular case, friction moment at point A is equal to MA is equal to WAB square by L square, and at point B, friction moment has to be WA square B by L square. So considering this figure 2 and applying this basic principle, so here we have 2 point loads, one is downward and another is upward. So here we can see that MA at this end due to W is always in which direction? Anti-clockwise direction, so it is minus, whereas on the right hand side of this particular case, W, it is acting at a distance of A plus delta A, it will be in a clockwise sense. So minus and plus are having that particular significance. This W acting downward, so its friction moment is anti-clockwise, so minus. If this W is acting upward, so the friction movement has to be in the clockwise direction, that's why it is taken as a positive. Now if I expand this particular equation, let us do the simplification. this term doesn't need any sort of a simplification, but there are two bracket in the second term. So what I have to do is I have to initially expand this bracket, and then after expanding this I have to multiply this bracket into this particular case. Is it okay? So this is what the simplification is going on. So here you can see left hand side term or the first term is remaining as it is, whereas the second term is getting like this. I have committed one mistake here. This has to be minus, minus, minus and minus. So please consider while having the simplification into this. So here W and this particular bracket has been simplified here. Further simplifying, we are getting this, and ultimately more simplifying we get a friction moment Ma is equal to W delta A by L square into bracket L minus A and L minus 3A. Now what about this WA? So for that we know that WA is what? W is the force here and delta A is a very small distance. So ultimately these two are going to get replaced by this M0 because the distance is very small. So that's why we have substituted WDA by M0. So the new equation we shall be getting from this particular equation is MA is equal to WDA substituted by M0 divided by L square L minus A in the bracket L minus 3A. So this is your first equation for finding out the friction moment at point A. On the same line, by considering the another force and applying the basic standard condition, we will be getting MB is equal to M0 by L square A into the bracket 2L minus 3A. So this is how we have to work out the value of this particular friction moment when this particular couple is acting eccentric about the span. Now here further it has been more what we can say simplified, because here why it is necessary to simplify. If I have to remove this bracket L minus A, we know total is L and this is minus A. So what is remaining? L minus A is equal to B. So simply I have substituted the value of L minus A equal to B. Similarly, doing the same sort of a simplification related to the lengths and putting their corresponding values, I will be having MB is equal to M0 A into bracket 3B minus L divided by L square. So this is how we have to work out the various values related to the friction moment when there is a couple. So one can understand, if I have the values of A is equal to some number, then by putting that value of A, B and L, I will be in a position to get a value of MA and MB, which are nothing but these are the friction moment. So this is what we had till now related to the basic standard cases which are going to occur every now and then while solving the numericals. So all these 5 cases are very important to understand, and to be very specific, you will have to learn by heart all these values of friction moment for all these standard cases. So let us enumerate all these various values and the various standard cases. So here in the first type of a beam, we have a fixed beam with a point load exactly at the center at a distance of L by 2 from both the ends. So in that case, this friction moment at point A will be minus WL by 8, and minus says it is in the anti-clockwise direction, whereas MB is equal to WL by 8. As the beam is symmetrical or the loading is symmetrical, MA is equal to MB, only with the difference of their sign conventions, clockwise or anti-clockwise. In the second case, point load is acting somewhat eccentric. So in that particular case, friction at point A is equal to WAB square by L square, and at point B WA square B by L square. Coming back to the third case, which is the UDL imposed throughout the length. So in that case, MA will be equal to minus WL square by 12 and MB is equal to WL square by 12. Again in this particular case, as the loading and the beam is symmetrical, so MA and MB are same, only with the difference of clockwise and anti-clockwise. If it is clockwise, I have taken it positive, and when it is anti-clockwise, it is going to be negative. Next case is the UDL, which is partially loaded on that particular beam. So in that particular case, we have this friction at point A and friction at point B. and so on. Going ahead, the fifth case, this case we have not taken into account, but by putting the value of a is equal to L by 2, you will be getting m0 by 4 and m0 by 4 as a fixed moment at point A and at point B. And this particular case already we have seen as a case 5, in which we have come to the conclusion fixed moment at point A is equal to m0 b by L square in the bracket 3a minus L, whereas the fixed moment at point B will be equal to m0a by L square 3b L minus a. So this is what is the concept related to the various standard cases. Once again I'll repeat, all these values of the fixed moment at point A and B has to be made by heart by every student, because onwards the numericals will be occurring on this sort of the loadings, which shall be applied one by one according to the type of problem. So this is what we are going to have for today for the study of standard cases 4 and 5. So in the next class we shall be dealing with the numericals on the fixed beams. So be prepared for the solution of the fixed beam problems, and prior to that I will once again urge you people to go through the videos which are earlier been posted related to this particular topic of analysis of the fixed beam, because unless and until you won't go with those particular videos, you will not be able to understand what is going on into the numericals. So this is what we have for today. Thank you very much and have a nice time. Thank you, thank you, thank you.